Barely. Let's go, man.
Let's get it. Going on, everybody, man, and welcome to the very first episode of The Truth, where not all Eagle fans agree on everything, and this is definitely the spot where this shit about to go down.
Oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going.
This is why we started this, because of you. We started this. I'm trying to listen to your fantasy that you living in right now. Always talking about 17 no until proven otherwise. BS!
I'll be number one, working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah. Fatal like a gun.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna shoot it, I'm gonna shoot until I fall.
We could have easily won those 3 games.
So I gotta get through it, and the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing.
Never give up, never slow
till I find
look, we lost.
Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep
moving.
Yeah, I put it out as hard, it's my only medicine, yeah. Everything I do, I'm just being genuine, yeah. I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline, yeah. I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah.
Woo, bro. Hey, do I look older, man? Because god damn, man, the goddamn Eagles took some years off my life, man. What a struggle bus we on right now, man. But we definitely gonna get into it, man. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yo, it is definitely what I said last week, man. We ain't looked the same. A team that we should have waited and dominated from the jump. It should have been a blowout even. We go in there and struggle and barely pull off the W, man. How's everybody going today? This is The Truth, episode 42. I'm BIRDGANG 31 with JC Sports Talk. And we're going to get a little bit into it. We got a special guest coming up a little bit later from the Giants Club. We're going to talk about that Giants Saquon return to home game coming this week. But we're going to recap this game, man. Like you said.
Yeah, do we have to?
Yeah, we got to do it. We got to do a little bit. We got to do a little bit.
Hey, can we just go straight directly to the all season, man, and then restart this whole season over?
Right, like let's go. The pluses. What are the pluses of this football game that you've seen?
God, man, we gotta start with the
give me some pluses,
goddamn it.
Huh? Give me some pluses, goddamn it.
Well, Jalen Hurts had a turnover-free game.
Boom, that is a huge plus.
For about 260, whatever it was. No turnovers, no fumble, no interceptions. So that was good. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, they came back and then missed a beat. They both caught a touchdown. Unguardable. Like a couple of those passes could have been a lot easier for AJ Brown if only Jalen Hurts to let him a little bit more. But they came back. They picked up where they left off together in Brazil. Mitchell, Q. He's that dog, right? He's that dog. And I saw your boy that you wanted. Was he on the Lions? Terrion Arnold. Man, that dude is leading the league in some freaking pass interference, all that crap, man. But Q over here is leading the league.
You keep getting mixed up. I wanted.
I ain't never heard of him either.
The different things.
Exactly. Look, out of sight. Whoever you wanted.
I want Kool-Aid at corner, but I wanted Latu at the end.
Okay, all right. Well, we're talking about corners wise. I mean, both of those guys you wanted, they're barely around, right? One of them, I don't even know what team Kool-Aid play for right now.
Thanks, man. He's not doing that over there.
That's why I watch the Saints. I never see him. I see Adabu.
Nothing happening on his side of the ball.
Exactly, because he's trash. Anyway, Mitchell, he's that dog, man. He should have his first pick if your boy Chauncey Gardner didn't want to run into him, but whatever. So that's some good stuff going on. And at the other corner spot, man, I didn't even recognize that Slade was out the game, bro. I didn't even know that Slade wasn't even playing until like the third or fourth quarter. I'm like, wait, Slay's out? You know why? Because this is the deepest cornerback room we had in a while. So that was good right there. Even though when Slay went out, they didn't miss a beat. So there are some good things that happen. Cooper DeJean, man, you know what I mean? Welcome. A good sight to see. Tackling, blitzing off the corner slot, the nickel slot, returning kicks, no fumbles. So there were some positive things that happened, man. So how about you?
You pretty much said them all. Like Jalen, clean game. That's definitely the first positive and the only positive really need to talk about. Another positive. Grant Calcaterra.
Yeah.
Calcaterra stepped up and Dallas got her spot. I got to see a little bit of Jahan Dotson this game. Yeah, they're working him into the offense. That's another good one. That Ringo hit. That Ringo hit was all good. I don't care what Ringo did the whole game, but that hit, my guy, that hit definitely was tight. I loved it. Good to Devontae and AJ back doing their normal thing. The number one receiver duel in the NFL, showing why they're number one, and hopefully they keep that going up the rest of this year. Another good thing, the Philly Dogs finally bit. The Philly Dog finally bit somebody. He got his first sack. Yeah, Jalen finally got his first sack. Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, they all did their thing. So that was good to see those guys finally get out there, do something productive. What up, Cool Cat? How you doing, my guy? How you doing in there? Yo, hit that like on the way in. We on all channels.
I haven't heard anything about the Goddard injury yet, but
I heard he's gonna be out this game for sure.
What with his hamstring?
Yeah, he's considered day to day, but he's definitely. They say he's probably going to be out this game for sure. Mailata's out for a couple of weeks. That sucks because Fred Johnson did not look good on that side of the football. He looked good when he replaced Lane. He did not look good when he replaced Mailata.
But that was less. That was unexpected. He didn't train to play left tackle the whole week. So with the week under his belt, but we are going against a Giants front. They ain't playing around. So they lead the league in sacks, by the way. So we definitely need to train them up fast.
Yeah,
and hopefully give them a little bit of help over there.
Like you said, Quignon, another game, no touchdowns. Gotta give him props for that. DeJean came, no touchdown, did his thing out there. Gotta give him props for that. Even though they messed up that interception, the whole defense as a whole kind of played pretty good this game. You got to see Josh Huff. I keep saying Josh Huff. Bryce Huff, in that 4-point stance, and he really started to get after the quarterback, which we've been waiting for him to do all year long. And didn't he get a sack or did he not get a sack? Did he?
I think Nolan Smith, he might
have half a sack with Cooper DeJean, didn't he?
I believe so.
Something like that. BG 200th game. BG balled out of his mind. What up, Coach Ante? BG balled out of his mind. For his 200th game. That guy is just ageless. I love BG because, I'm BG, he BG, we BG, we from Philly. Not really from there, but you know how it would be. That was awesome to see him get that win because I would have hated for him to lose. That would have been, what a rock. That would have been awful to see. So, yeah, those are all the Vangels was, learning, to change some of his ways, basically with the Bryce Huff thing, and blitzing. He blitzed a lot. He definitely did a lot more blitzing this game than he did the last couple of games. So those are my goods, but we got to get to the other side of that, and that's the bads, man. I'm going to start that off with. The bads is Nick Sirianni jabbering his mouth at the end of the game to the goddamn fans. Like, what the hell's wrong with you, Nick? You about to get fired, and someone's got to walk this guy out the goddamn stadium and keep doing stupid shit. I was mad at Saquon to get over 100 or even close to 100. That running game wasn't looking too productive early. Bad. What other bad thing? The injuries, just like the injury bug hit us. Yeah. Mailata going out. Dallas Goedert going out. What other bad things can I say? No, that's pretty much it for the back too. And the fact that special teams sucked ass and they blocked the guy field goal all the way to the house. How do you do that? How you let the guy score? There's enough athletes on that goddamn football field. They should have called Rodney McLeod. You know, I like Rodney because wasn't he their Super Bowl year? So what up to Rodney? But he not do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, man, hey, the bad was, again, man, one thing that stuck out to me, man, was Saquon Barkley, man. It's 2nd and 1. I don't know why, because that whole field block, happened during that drive where he ran out of bounds on 2nd and 1. Like, I'm like, bro, what's like? It seemed like because he was getting frustrated, he just ran out of bounds, man. You know what I mean? Like twice already this season, he cost us a game. Number one, yes, he won us a couple games, but this 2nd and 1 that he just ran out of bounds when like nobody's like, I'm like, bro, at least get that 1 yard. 1 yard you had to get, and he ran out of bounds. So that I was already frustrated just watching this game, and then he just pissed me off a little bit more. Chauncey Gardner, man, and we gotta talk about Chauncey, man. Like 4 bombs over his head. All of a sudden now he want to run into somebody. Like it's his job to cover that. Yo, Q had his first interception, and then he ran into him like some fool. The fool he is, you know what I mean? Pardon my French, fool. You know what I mean?
Hey,
young man,
hey. He's ball hog, right? That's what we got to be, ball hog, right?
How many interceptions he got this year? What kind of ball hog? Shoot, every time I'm watching them
get, trying to get one, just like the rookie trying to get one. He was trying to get one too.
Nah, son,
that wasn't the time. Stuff I'm saying.
That wasn't the time for him to get one. How about that? Hey,
watch you look at the teammate and see if I feel like that's a bonehead. That's a bonehead move from both players.
Oh no, ain't no both players, man.
Yeah, because somebody should have called it out. Q should have been like, I got it.
Huh?
Someone should have said, I got it.
Yeah, this ain't no goddamn baseball. what you done? Got it. No, this ain't no baseball. And baseball, yes, so y'all won't run into each other like the ball's in the air. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know because the field is so big. But Chauncey, man, look, if I'm watching, I'm seeing him close my eyes. Come on, man. Anyway, man, I really didn't like the play calling a lot. It seemed like that the Philadelphia Eagle offense, man, is moving in slow motion for me. It's moving so slow. Everything they do is slow. I mean, like from the play calling, like get back to the line. I mean, everything is slow about this offense, man. I hate the way we calling plays. I hate the fact that we didn't know that the strength of the Browns defense is their running game. And we still trying to fed it and get in 2-3 yards. Hey, what happened to the quick screens that we wanted to happen? The Browns secondary was depleted. Like during the game, another DB went out. Why couldn't we explore that? I don't know, man. But game planning is still suspect to me. It just
I didn't like hearing
the urge on this team right now.
What do you think about when Nick was like, I called the defense to play, but Vic was like, he didn't call no plays? It's like, why is Nick?
Once again, man, is he really? Vic Sirianni is always trying to take the bullet for everything. So regardless if he called it or not, he always going to say, hey, he always say it starts with me, it ends with me. So that's one thing about Nick since he's been here. He's never threw a guy under the bus before. I've not seen it. So he's always going to say, hey, it's my fault. Hey, I tried to do it. It didn't work. But whatever it is, man.
But he didn't even have to say it. That's my thing. Like, you don't even have to say none of that stuff. If it ain't your call, it ain't your call. You don't even got to talk about it. Not like they asked him about it. He just came out and looked good, like.
But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know why he would just, come out and say it if somebody then, kind of, hint it at something. But man, I don't know, man. Look, a lot of y'all are worried about Nick Sirianni. It is what it is. Look, a lot of y'all are worried about Nick Sirianni. Hold on. A lot of y'all are worried about Nick Sirianni. Look, to me, I don't care what Nick Sirianni do on the sideline. I'm more concerned about how this offense that we are going to week 6 and we can't score in the first goddamn quarter at all. So that's
that is bad too. That's another bad for sure.
Yeah. So like this team to me is playing like it's preseason still. Like, are they like cakewalking through this season? You're just like, nah, we're gonna make the playoffs. It's not even a guarantee, man. The NFC North, everybody's 4 wins and above and 2 losses. Like everybody is 4 wins, 5 wins. You know what I mean? So we cannot mess around. Like we gotta play every game like it's our last game because the NFC North is stacked. Yes, there's a lot of game left, but we'll see, man.
Let me see what happens, man. Yeah. So overall, You know, the offense, if I give them a grade of a B plus.
C. All right, let's move on. C. Man, you
know,
struggled for 20 points.
The defense B plus. You know, because I called it last week. I said the defense, you're like they're gonna get 7 or 8, 7
Well, they
sacks.
got 5 sacks, bro.
I
Like,
told
and
you
if they had like 3 more, if Deshaun Watson, like he decided to run on Sunday for some odd reason, but it could have easily been 8 sacks, easily. But I do owe you $100 because I'm a man of my word, and before we finish the show, I will cash up you $100. You know what I mean? Because that's how I do, right? And I make a bet and I pay up. I'm still waiting for my goddamn jersey, by the way, that I won 6 weeks ago. Where my jersey at? Where my Kelly Green Devontae Smith jersey at?
Set up with the negatives and the positives. You know, you don't get your damn jersey, all right?
I want it. Hey, next show, I want to see my jersey come on my door so I can show the people that you're a man of your words.
I got you. Well, we got our guest R0B from the New York Giants, baby. He's also part of BGN, bringing you that Giants content. You know, everybody give it up because we're going to talk about Saquon Barkley's return to MetLife and what Saquon is going to do to the G-Man next week. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it.
Let's go.
He ain't going to do shit. No, hey, listen. What up, y'all? No, listen. I thought he was gonna cook us for like 200 yards before the season started, but the way we playing defense, yeah, fuck Barkley. I ain't worried about him this week.
Oh,
but after this week,
shots fired.
But after this week, I hope Barkley continues to do well. You know, because Joe Shane's a fucking idiot. But that's a conversation for later or another time.
Now I definitely see Barkley having a big game against y'all, man. Like
that's my poll question.
He's angry, man. Yo, that boy. Look, he ain't got a touchdown last game. He ain't even run for over 60 yards last game. You know what I mean? But we'll see, man. Revenge games. I love revenge games. That's when man. All of a sudden, man, he turned into a Marshall Faulk. You know what I mean? He gonna get at least 3 touchdowns on y'all. But anyway,
yeah. My poll question is: will he get over 200 yards?
Listen, he might hit 3 touchdowns, but he also gonna have like 3 fumbles. Okay.
Nah.
Hey, listen. If there's one thing about Barkley, he know how to drop the ball. Okay, he know how to drop the ball in big time situations.
Okay.
And that's coming from a Giants fan.
To that Atlanta Falcons game.
That's coming back. That's coming from a Giants fan. That's coming from a Giants fan.
Hey, we got you on the show. You came in hot. Where the intro at, my guy? Where the intro at?
Oh, my bad. I got you. Finally, R0B and PTA have come back to BGN. I appreciate y'all having me on for real. No, all joking aside, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Appreciate it. Much love.
Let's talk about this. Let's go straight to the Saquon thing. Do you think it was handled correctly? And what was the biggest flaws of that whole situation?
No, I don't think it was handled correctly at all. I think, the Ravens were offering us a 2nd-round pick, which was confirmed, last year. Joe Shane didn't want to pull the trigger, for whatever reason. John Mara didn't want to do the trade or whatever. And my opinion is the same way that you allowed him to go ahead and you convinced John Mara it's okay for him to walk out the door. You could have did that shit during the season, and gotten an asset. But they didn't do it. Now, obviously, there's all this talk in 22 that they offered him a contract. He said, no, we don't really know what the parameters were about that contract, yada, yada, yada. You do the tag thing, then you give him the 1-year deal. And it just seemed like they never wanted him here. And he was always an afterthought. So I don't think it was handled correctly. I don't even think, and I know you didn't ask about him, but I don't even think the McKinney thing was handled correctly either. If those guys were guys that you guys didn't want, then trade them and get an asset. You could have gotten, a 3rd-round pick probably for McKinney at the time. You could have gotten it. You were getting offered a 2nd-round pick for Barkley. Now that puts you into a different type of conversation where, now you got 3 2nd-round picks going into this draft. You traded one away to get Brian Burns. Now it leaves you 2. Now maybe you take a quarterback at 6, and then you use those 2 2nd-round picks and move up into the later second round. You can get yourself a Xavier Worthy. You can get yourself a Lad McConkey. You can get yourself an Xavier Leggett. Like, you can get one of these wide receivers, or shit, you could take a wide receiver in the top of the second round. Maybe you move up or something. So I don't think it was handled correctly in any facet. And then to watch Hard Knocks and just like to listen to Joe Shane, like when you got Chris Rossetti saying, "Are we sure nobody gonna get his money?" And then you got Brandon Brownson, or like, "Motherfucker, you were in Philly. You know who's gonna give him cash. You know it. You know Howie. Like, come on now." And then so he's like talking to these guys like, "Oh, you guys think you know better than me?" Like, Joe Shane's a whack ass dude, bro. He's a fucking clown. Like, Joe Shane's a clown, bro. He's an idiot.
Nice. Whew, I like hearing that from a Giants fan. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Now, tell me about your Giants this year so far.
Man, well, look, I mean, I think the defense has been the standout since week 2. First 2 weeks, it did not look good at all. And then I think Shane Bowen, went and watched a little bit of Wink Martindale tape from the last 2 years, and went up to some of his guys and be like, "Yo, what do we got to do to change things up?" And he's been doing a hell of a job. I think we have right now, I think the defense is playing at a playoff caliber level. You shut down one of the more explosive offenses last week in the Cincinnati Bengals, who was scoring at least the last few weeks 30 points per game. It was going up a little bit each week, and you were able to keep them at bay. I know we lost Kayvon Thibodeau, and that was a big blow last week. But as he stepped in and looked really, really good, Burns stepped up, looked really, really good. The pass rush actually looked a lot better than it has the previous weeks. Even though we're leading the NFL in sacks. So the defense has definitely been, the biggest standout and the biggest bright side. Obviously, Malik Neighbors, and what he was doing throughout the first, few weeks of the year. And he's been out last couple of weeks. Hopefully, he health-wise, I hope he's good. I'm not rushing him. I'm not one of these guys that needs him back out onto the field. So hopefully his health is good. If he's good and he's cleared and he's ready to go, then he can play. Cool. If not, then, do what you got to do. But he's definitely been a healthy, bright spot. Tyrone Tracy's been a pretty, over the last couple of weeks, the running back has been a pretty good bright spot for us. And I think a lot of the rookies that we picked up, the rookie class this year, Tyler Newbin, Drew Phillips, really making plays. Obviously, brought up Neighbors last couple of weeks. Theo Johnson kind of getting in the mix due to Neighbors' absence. Hopefully, if he comes back, they continue to try to get in the ball. And the offensive line is the last thing. I think the offensive line did a 180 turnaround. Obviously, just got some bad news when it comes to Andrew Thomas. Looks to be a Lynn Frank injury, so he's probably going to be done for the year. But up until that point, it was the offensive line looked, fantastic. Was playing like a top 5 offensive line this year. So I think those were the bright spots, thus far. Definitely not Daniel Jones.
Well, yeah. Speaking of Daniel Jones, man, hey, the Philadelphia Eagles, hey, they got their quarterback. The Commanders apparently have their dog, their quarterback, and Dak Prescott, So the rest of the teams in the division have their quarterback. What do you see happening with Daniel Jones? He still have 2 more years on his contract. So what is the plan moving forward, regardless how far he gets y'all?
I mean, I really don't know, what the plan is. I think he's a limited quarterback that can't, and he's been showing it. Like, again, your defense goes out there last week, holds that high-powered offense to basically 10 points.
Yeah.
And you got, you're down in the red zone, you throw an interception, you're missing guys, you're overthrowing them by 5 yards. You're staring down on a 4th and 2. You're standing down a wide receiver when you got Slayton coming wide open. Like, the guy just is a limited quarterback. And so I personally don't see him returning. And if he does, I think it'll be probably in a limited role where they're going to end up drafting a quarterback if these guys are back. These guys, I'm good if they get fired. Like, I'm not sitting here advocating for these guys. This goes beyond the Jones, contract. I think it's the miss of the draft classes. I'll give you props for one, but one doesn't excuse 2 bad draft classes, for the exception of maybe Tay Banks or whatnot, or any players here and there. not to mention contract negotiations and how you handle Barkley, how you handle Xavier McKinney, how you handled the Barkley and Jones contract situation in 2022. You know, you're just doesn't even seem like he knows the market. Even when you watch Hard Knocks, like he's got all these numbers of players, and then it's just completely and utterly wrong. And then look, you're going into year 3 and you're nowhere closer to competing in the division. And then what was a bottom tier franchise in the Washington Commanders is now the top tier franchise, you know, in at least for the season. And as of right now, going into week 7, leading the division. Right. So, I'm not high on him. I don't think he'll be back. I think it's just a matter of time. Personally, I'd rather see Drew Lock right now, not because I think Drew Lock is better. I think they're very similar. I think it's just to know that the Daniel Jones experience is over and it's done with, and to try to give these. I mean, you got Dexter Lawrence not even talking to the media after the game on Sunday night, leaving early. These guys are pissed off, and you're going to end up losing these guys because you're trotting out this fucking quarterback every week. So it is what it is.
Danny Food Stamps is trash.
I don't. That's being generous. Food stamps, that's being generous.
How do they can bench a guy like Eli Manning who won the Super Bowl, but they can't bench Daniel Jones?
Somebody tweeted that, you know, today. A friend of mine, Peter, he tweeted that today, asking that very same question. You could bench Eli Manning, but you can't bench Daniel Jones. Like I don't know. Maybe Daniel Jones got some blackmail on John Mara or something like that. Called John Mara cheating on his wife or something like that, and he ain't trying to get in trouble or something. I don't know, but it's got to be something like that.
I mean, you can't bench a guy that, you know, you paid what $40 million to for 4 years. I just think that the organization is trying to do everything they can to make sure he gets every opportunity, you know, including drafting him a wide receiver. Like I said, look, I like your offense, man. Talk to me about Brian Daboll, man, your coach, man. Like, is he on the hot seat? Like, does he have to make the playoffs to keep his job, or like what? Is he also losing the locker room? Maybe.
I don't think he's like on the verge of Rock. You are 100%. You are 100% right. If you want to see somebody take some live glizzies to Daniel Jones, look no further than Cop Hizzle. But I think he's definitely on the hot seat. Do I think he's losing the locker room? No, I think the players respect him, but it's at a certain particular time when you continue to don't make change. When things are struggling and you have a defense that's going out there playing well week after week, and you're not able to put up offensive points, players are going to start to look at you sideways. I do think he's on the hot seat. I think they both are, or at least they should be, but more Daboll probably than Joe Shane. But I've had conversations with people within the Giants fan base, on Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. I've got, based on like certain things that they did, I don't feel like maybe they operated as if they were on the hot seat, and that might be true. I wouldn't be surprised if they're back. I'm kind of 50-50, where it's like I've seen Brian Daboll have success with guys like Tyrod and guys like, Tommy DeVito, and yet he's got a limited guy in Daniel Jones. So, but then, he put together a few good game plans, but then I don't know, man, like it's wishy-washy. It's wishy-washy. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily know, but I do think he's on the hot seat. And the rebuttal, one thing that you said, and you can trade him, because once upon a time, the Eagles did pay a quarterback and decided to move on. So you can move on. You can move on. It is possible. You got to eat a little bit of money, but you can move on. So look, it's just about, when you got to move on, it's just about admitting that you're wrong, and moving on to something else. Now, granted, do you guys make that move, to Jalen? If you don't have Jalen, probably not. You probably don't trade Wentz, but you were smart enough to say, hey, we paid this guy, we've built up the roster a little bit, we can afford to take a swing on this quarterback here as a backup, just in case. Wentz had a couple of injuries prior to that. So to give you know what I mean? So, that's where it's at. Smart. Look, good organizations make smart decisions. And that's why the Giants are on the bottom, because they don't make smart decisions.
So the Giants are allowing 20 points a game, and y'all scoring 16 points a game. So for some odd reason, I mean, I'm not a math, the smartest guy in the room, but if you're allowing more than you score, you're going to lose a lot of games. So like, what needs to happen? Like, what is the strength of this team? Like, is it in the running game, the passing game? Like, I mean, and do y'all have enough weapons to help Daniel Jones succeed?
I think the weapons are there. Like, fans are always saying about the offensive line and the weapons. Like, the weapons are there. Like, you drafted Neighbors. You invested a second-round pick in Wan'Dale Robinson. You traded up to get Jalen Hyatt. You got Darius Slayton, who was a fifth-round pick, by all accounts, is probably a solid number 2 wide receiver in the National Football League. You brought in Darren Waller that you traded at the top 100 pick for. You drafted Daniel Bellinger. And he's gone, right? But you drafted Theo Johnson. You had Barkley, and that didn't work. You got rid of Barkley. You brought in Singletary. You drafted Tracy. Like, I think the weapons are there. You fixed the offensive line because you drafted 3 or 4 guys that didn't work. Like, so I think the offense has everything that it needs. The quarterback is just limited. I think that, the running game right now with Tyrone Tracy, I think adds a really good element if used properly. He's got really good vision. He's got good patience running the football. He's a guy that if you want to line up out wide, it's a guy that you have to cover. Maybe you can't put that linebacker out there because he played wide receiver before and he can run routes as a wide receiver in the route tree. So maybe you got to play him a little bit differently. Maybe put a nickel corner out there or a safety out there to get a little bit of a better athletic player on him. He might get, cook a linebacker if you put a linebacker out there. So, but you don't have a quarterback to get creative. I think the strength of the team right now is the defense. I'm confident. Doesn't matter who we play. I don't think nobody's going to score, 30 points or more since week 2. Like, if first couple weeks, it looked like we were going to get blown out every week. But the way that this defense has been playing since week 2, I'm confident that this defense, no matter who we're playing, is going to keep us in the game. The offense just is not going to be able to get it done. And so I don't have the Giants winning this week. I have the Eagles winning, but I don't think it's going to be no blowout. The Eagles team isn't what it was back in 2022. It's not that explosive, even though the players are still there. And so I think it's going to be a close game. I'm thinking 20-12. Maybe we make 4 field goals, 17-7, maybe something like that. Like, it's going to be something like that, and hopefully the Giants can take advantage of some of the mistakes that Jalen's been making thus far since 23. He's got 28 turnovers or 29 turnovers since 2023. So, and that's I think one of our weaknesses right now is, we're getting a lot of sacks, but we're not really creating a lot of turnovers. And so we need to do more of that.
Do you think it's more of the coaching malpractice in terms of Daniel Jones? I know you guys did play without Neighbors, who's a amazing receiver, what I'm saying? He's everything advertised, by not going to his strength. Like, Daniel Jones is a running quarterback too, what I'm saying? Like, he's not considered really like a Lamar Jackson or Hurts, but he is a running quarterback. Do you think there needs to be more of that implemented into your offense for him to be successful?
I mean, that's always been the case. I mean, during Hard Knocks, you had, Tim McDonald. It's like, what is our offense identity going to be if Barkley's gone? You got a quarterback. His verbiage was quarterback, if it's Daniel, relies on the run game. Like, that was always a part of Daniel Jones's game was running. I mean, you guys know the famous meme out there, him tripping in Philly and falling down. Like, what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he's an athletic kid, and running has always been his thing. But, he's coming off the knee. He's got a $23 million injury guarantee, and this guy's running him like he's fucking Bo Jackson. Like, like, or Corey Dillon or something. Like, you gotta. I don't have a problem with a running quarterback, but not everybody's built like Jalen. Jalen is a fucking tank, and Lamar Jackson is probably one of the more elusive types of quarterbacks that I've seen since Michael Vick. So. And then you got your outliers. You got, guys like Josh Allen, that's a fullback fucking playing quarterback that can truck you and do all that shit. Not a lot of quarterbacks are like that. I like a quarterback that is mobile, that can make some plays. Like I was a big fan of Russell Wilson. was a mobile quarterback, can make plays in the pocket, but if you want to try to take away his pacing, his passing outlets, he can do it with his legs. Aaron Rodgers, same thing, could do it with his legs. Mahomes could do it with his legs when he needs to. That's what I like. So I just right now they need to be careful with him. But the problem is that he's so limited in the passing game that the only thing he has is running. Like, he'll make some plays here and there, in the passing game, but it's like nothing that's going to kill you. And he had that good game against Seattle, was not expecting that. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe you can build off of this a little bit going into the following week. You're playing the 31st ranked fucking defense in Cincinnati. They're allowing 10 touchdown passes, QBRs to wide receivers of like 93% of QBR rating. This should be at home. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass since we played the Indianapolis Colts in 2022 in MetLife. That's the last time he's thrown a touchdown pass. And this should be the time where you get it right. And he couldn't even do that. And he's missing guys that are on 5, 6, 7, 8-yard routes, overthrowing them too wide, not on point. Like, that's just basic shit. Like, I would expect that from a rookie, not a 6-year fucking player of the National Football League. So, I mean, he's the one that's really holding this team back. He really is.
Another thing
he played at Philadelphia Eagles, man. Hey, we make quarterbacks look good over here. So don't worry, man. Hey, we make quarterbacks look good over here. Hey, Deshaun Watson almost, this dude been the worst quarterback in the league and almost beat us, by himself. Like, so.
Listen, maybe, who knows? But at home, every touchdown pass that Daniel Jones has right now this season has come on an away game. If this was away in Philadelphia, I'd feel a little bit more confident. But being that it's at home, no shot.
The Giants did shut down the commies, and they putting up points, so I'm not taking this game for granted.
That's true. I mean, I watched that game, man. That was a hard-fought game. Y'all had y'all kicker, man. Y'all would have beat the Washington Commanders, man. Y'all would have, y'all didn't had no kicker. So, I mean, that's unfortunate, but y'all could have beat the Washington Commanders. But y'all been in a lot of games, man. Y'all been in a lot of games, man. Y'all defense, man. Hey, y'all lead the league in sacks, man. Shoot, I'm jealous of y'all defense, honestly, man. I think right now, out of the whole division, I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles might have the worst defense. Only because we're still learning a new system, and we everywhere right now. Our linebackers, they hit or miss. Our front four can't really get to the quarterback, man. We had 6 sacks until we played the Browns. We got 5, right? Y'all had 8. So we can't really get to the quarterback without sending the blitz. So, but I really feel like that Daniel Jones, man, and we're not good when we face mobile quarterbacks, man. We have a hard time with mobile quarterbacks. Like we don't have our own mobile quarterback that we could practice with, right? Man, you would think, God damn, that's Eagles. Man, have you ever seen a running quarterback before? But I think that Daniel Jones, man, watching that game on Sunday night, he was running, man, and when he runs, he doesn't slide, man. He run that's his last down. I mean, he tried to give it all he got because of his lack of, whatever he had that he doesn't have. But we'll see.
Another thing I want to say was, do you think that maybe, with Saquon was there, right? Mm-hmm. You guys needed that neighbors type guy at receiver. You know what I'm saying? That would have put you guys in a nice situation on offense. But then you took away Saquon, you gave neighbors, but you didn't get a good enough running back to replace Saquon.
I think we really got robbed of that twice. Believe it or not, with the same fucking running back. We had Odell, drafted Barkley, had him for a year, and then that was, that went over like a fart in church. That was over quicker than a fucking virgin having sex. And then, you have Barkley there, and yeah, I mean, Barkley had his injuries, but to me, Barkley never had a good line, never had really a good quarterback to stretch the field, and he was going up against 8-9 man boxes almost every game and was still able to have the success that he had, especially in 2022, going 1,300 yards. Even though he had a bum shoulder and everything like that, that was because he's still going up against that. So you didn't have a weapon on the outside to really open up the offense, that you could stretch the ball down the field, or a quarterback that could do it. So, yeah, I think it would have been awesome, to see, what it would have been like to have Barkley and have Neighbors together, and what that dynamic would have been. But at the same point, and granted, these couple games that Tracy's been kind of popping off, Neighbors hasn't been on the field.
Yeah.
I just don't know with the quarterback if it really would have made that big of a difference. I don't know if it would have. My heart wants to tell me maybe, but I just don't know if it would have made that big of a difference offensively. But yeah, I feel like I was robbed. That I think that they definitely should have tried to keep Barkley or offer him a deal. They didn't. They didn't want him. And then, we can't pay Daniels $40 million to give it off to a $12 million bag. But then as soon as he signs, you go and you sign a fucking 27-year-old fucking running back in Devin Singletary, and bring him in and giving him $6-7 million. Like, that shit doesn't make any sense to me. But I feel like I was robbed as a fan, for sure.
So you think if they keep Barkley, if they keep Jones, they use a high draft pick on a running back?
You talking about next year?
Yeah, next year.
No, they're taking a quarterback 100%. They fucking better. I wouldn't listen. I ain't gonna put nothing past the Giants. But I think after what we've seen thus far, I don't think whether they're here or they're not, I don't think this organization doesn't take a quarterback unless a new regime comes in and says we don't like or we're not big on any of these guys. And then, they sign a veteran, get rid of Jones, sign like a veteran to like a 2 or 3 year deal, and then take your whatever we're going to be picking with, and then you trade it and you gain extra assets and you move back into the draft and you get a haul for it. Cause maybe there's say you finish with a top 3 pick and, there's a team in there. I'm presuming that like one team is the Raiders who's going to take Shador, then it's us. And then maybe it's a team that doesn't need a quarterback that want to move up for a Carson Beck, a Cam Ward, a Milrow, or something like that. Maybe you get yourself a nice little haul, have and move back if you're not really fond of that. But I think if these guys are here, I don't see them not taking a quarterback. They have to at this point.
The Eagles, what do you think about us? What do you think is going to be if the Giants were to win? I know you say they won't win, but you got to be, for your team too a little bit here. If the Giants were to win, what would need to happen?
Well, one, I really like the way that Shane Bowen is moving around Dexter Lawrence on the defensive line and trying to get these guys, in different spots. A couple of different formations that I saw him do it the last couple of weeks is overloading the left side, so the right tackle spot, and having a single guy, whether it's Burns or Aziz, on the left side on a one-on-one situation, and trying to get Dexter Lawrence on one-on-ones. And so and so far it's had some success. There was times where they had him one-on-ones in the Cincinnati game, definitely in the Seattle game. So him being able to move him around, we joked around today, like they should just line him up a defensive end against fucking Lane Johnson and let them go at it, which I wouldn't be opposed, because fuck Lane Johnson. But
on the left side, man.
That false starting son of a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. But look, I think if the Giants are going to win this game, I think you got to get to Jalen Hurts. You can't allow him to use his legs, even though, and I feel like that's going to be, I think you're going to see a lot of that in this game, and you can't allow him to do that. I think that with the injuries that you guys have on the offensive line with Mailata, I think that guys like Aziz always plays well, when he's playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, gets a sack or two on Jalen. As a matter of fact, I think he was like the only one that really last couple of years got a sack on fucking Jalen because of Jason Kelsey being there. Thank you for retiring. But now, you're going to have your second-year center or third-year center, trying to go up against, Dexter Lawrence and, Landon Dickerson. Listen, I saw what Landon Dickerson did to that defensive tackle last week. From the Browns, he tried come around and Dickerson turned around and laid him out. You ain't doing that to 360-pound, Dexter Lawrence. So that's going to be an interesting fight, to see Landon Dickerson and see if they put Landon on an island against Dexter Lawrence. They put the center on an island. I'm assuming he's going to get double teamed, but get after Jalen. The thing with Jalen is he's been making a lot of mistakes, and they have to be ready to capitalize on those mistakes. And you know, if Jalen can't limit those, and we got to be able to control the time of possession, which we've been doing a solid job of since week 2. We've led every game in time of possession. So if you can limit yet again the amount of possession that Jalen has, he's done it before. He's going to try to play hero ball, try to get everything done himself, and that's when he makes his mistakes. So put pressure on him, limit his possessions, force him to try to do it on his own, and capitalize on his mistakes and be able to run the football. And if they can do that, I think that they have an opportunity to win. But I do think that realistically, if they need a chance, they're going to have to score at least a defensive score. A defensive score in this game is going to have to be necessary, I believe, to win this game. But I do think the game is going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. What happened?
I said, or special teams like last
Well,
week.
I mean, our special teams
for a touchdown. That's really because you really think about it. Like if they don't get that block kick, they don't score that touchdown, then you know the game doesn't look as close, and then probably people aren't so mad. So it's like we should have brought them out more, but we should. I feel like the same way this week too. No disrespect, we should blow you guys out too. Like if you're supposed to be an elite playoff team, it's a league championship team that we all want you to be. And I know everybody's like, well, they're just getting into the groove of things, which is good because you don't want to peak out in the first 5 weeks of the season or the first 7 weeks of the season. You want to peak out back in the season. And that's kind of what trajectory we're on right now, if we do it. But I still feel like a blowout win is necessary.
Look, the Philadelphia Eagles had not scored a point in the first quarter.
Not one.
So I really think that's why teams are hanging around. Yeah, we could put up 34, 20 points right there. But if we could score in the first quarter, I mean, I think that this game is probably going to get out of hand a little bit. But divisional games to me, man, just throw everything you know about the opponent out the window. For some odd reason, just throw the records out. You know, it could be 10-0 versus 1-10. It doesn't really matter because they know each other so well. I feel like in order for this game, you know, to go the Philadelphia Eagles' way, we had to use Barkley. We had to run Barkley. Yes, you're going to try to load up the box, whatever it is, because I think our offensive line is still good enough to still have a dominant run game. A.J. Brown is back. Devontae Smith is back. If y'all choose to not double them, that's fine. That's one-on-ones that you're not going to win because especially now with this under route play that Devontae Smith been running underneath and like nobody could get to him. So I really feel like we got to run the ball. Yes, Jalen Hurts had a clean game last game versus the Browns, but I don't know how good the Browns are on defense, right? But I think that the turnovers, he's been hearing the rumors about the turnovers, but that's across the league. Like if you look at Dak Prescott, this dude got 11 turnovers. Like, you know what I mean? Like so, and he get it in the worst time. So I think across the league this season, a lot of these quarterbacks are turning the ball over. And the Philadelphia Eagles are still learning how to get on the same page on offense. So I feel like when you run the ball, you with A.J. Brown, with Smitty, and Goddard, I don't know if he is going to play this game, but we do have a capable backup, tight end, and Grant Cartera. So he showed up this past game. So I think this game is going to be win in the trenches. Who could get to the quarterback? Who could force those turnovers? And who could run the ball, control the clock?
Yeah. I think before the Andrew Thomas injury, I would have felt really comfortable, going up against your guys' defensive front, because our front has been playing lights out, especially in the passing game, and keeping Jones, pretty upright for the most part. But with Andrew being out, that definitely puts a void there. And I think both teams are going to be able to exploit the offensive line and going to get sacks. I don't think with Mailata being out, I think that's going to be a field day for Azeez Ojulari and for Brian Burns. I think they're going to try to take advantage of that guy. And just like I think that, you're going to have, Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat. I think those guys are going to be able to take advantage of the guy who's playing left tackle. Not so much the right. I think Illuminor has been doing a pretty solid job. He's one of the top rated guys at the right tackle spot this year. So he's been doing a solid job. But we'll see. As of right now, I believe it's Josh Azudu, who's going to be playing left tackle for us. And he's a fucking turnstile, it's insane. Last time actually Jones started with him at left tackle is when Jones hurt his neck again last year against Miami. So I'm assuming that his injury guarantee will kick in this week with Josh Azudu there. But I think it's going to be a fun game. I'll say this. Coming across the middle, I mean, we got some guys that can clap a little bit. Drew Phillips is a tough dude that is not afraid about laying a little bit of wood. Same thing with Tyler Nubin. So be on the lookout for those boys. Drew Phillips had a couple of big hits with T. Higgins coming across the middle, and no disrespect to Smitty, he's not built the same as like T. Higgins. T. Higgins is this big, solid, like thick guy. And he even knocked him out, hurt his shoulder a little bit. So I like to see what they do if they line up Smitty in the slot a little bit. If they're going to have Drew Phillips on him, see how that works out. I'm assuming that they're going to have somebody over the top to cover the deep pass. I mean, at least that's where AJ really makes his money. I think it's either on the short routes where he can make a guy miss, or it's over the top. He's got good breakaway speed, knows how to get open. He's got great hands, great body control, good patience. Really, really good wide receiver. So, I think Barkley's going to try to be a big vocal point in the game. Look, it's his homecoming.
Oh yeah,
back in MetLife, he's going to want to go out there and show off. And I also think
about 35 times this game.
And look, I think that the Giants,
and I'll give it to him too,
defense and Shane Bowen is going to know that he's going to want that too. And so, if I'm picking Sexy Dexy, or I'm picking, he Barkley, I'm taking Sexy Dexy. And
right. Dexy, like as good as he is, like that's always been the case with the good defensive players on it, especially in the conference. You look at Washington's defensive line before, when they had all 4 first-round draft picks. Like good defensive lines are good against everybody else except for the Eagles' offensive line. We neutralize every good defensive line. And I know we got, Mailata out, but Fred Johnson, when he had time to prepare to replace Lane Johnson for that game, he did good. And I think he got thrust into the game this last week. He didn't play as good as we wanted him to, but he did have some nice plays there too as well. So I do see him having a full week of practice to get ready for you guys at the position. He'll be just as good as we know what we expect him to be. But I do think we're going to feed Saquon Barkley there. And I think that, it's going to be – you guys are going to have to stop him, like, who are you guys? Who's your starting cornerbacks for one? Because that could be because everybody might think we might force feed, Barkley in the first quarter, but we might just take advantage of those guys early to set up the run later in the game.
Well, I mean, so number one corner right now is Banks, who caught a little bit of heat first, few weeks of the season. Been playing solid last couple weeks. I believe what they're doing, at least what they were doing on Sunday night, don't necessarily know if they're going to do the same thing Sunday afternoon, but Cordell Flott was starting on the other outside, and then on like third down, they were bringing in Adoree Jackson, and then they have Drew Phillips playing in the slot. Cordell Flott has had some success against AJ, not major success, but he's done it, believe it or not, a decent job when his number's been called in like 22 and I think a little bit in 23. He had some good breakups and he played well. I'll say this, Cordell Flott played good. He had some really good tight coverage on Jamar Chase this past Sunday. And he had one play where he had good coverage on him, but the play kind of broke up. Burrow got to the outside and kind of just lofted, just a beautiful pass, beautiful touch pass. And Jamar Chase kind of got behind him. And mainly it was because the safety that was playing over the top, which was Tyler Nubin, I believe at the time, vacated because Burrow kind of rolled out to his right and then he threw it back to his left, as a touch pass to Jamar Chase. So he lost the safety help over the top, but he did a good job against Jamar Chase this past week, Sunday night. So, we'll see what happens. Cordell Flott.
It doesn't matter who you're talking about.
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
What are you talking about Cordell Flott for? Who the hell is this guy? Like,
hey, listen, you asked who the starting corner was.
Like, is he a Madden rating of 70 or 56 or something? Because I never
heard of Madden ratings.
AJ Brown, like AJ Brown is the best receiver in the game right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy is the man. And
he's not better than JJ or Justin Jefferson.
I think he is, though.
He ain't better than Jefferson.
I think he is.
No shot.
I think Justin Jefferson, right, being the only guy on this football team. You know, I know they drafted Addison from USC, but you got to think how many USC, receivers actually do become superstars in the NFL. Not very many of them. So in terms of a true number two, there's not really a true number two over there. He's number one. He's getting all the balls. He's getting all the targets. They took away the running backs there, so he's getting everything thrown at him. And yes, he's performing. He's catching these balls. He's making, water out of wine over there in Minnesota. Even it doesn't matter. Even making Sam Darnold look good over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yes, he's doing his job. But AJ has Smitty. So neither one of these guys, Smitty or AJ, will ever, as long as they're in the same team, neither one of them will get the respect they deserve, because I believe that you got to look at, like,
they're both number ones. They're both number ones.
Yeah, they're both number one. So they're both getting, good targets a game. So, when you got one guy getting maybe 14, 15 targets a game in JJ, and then you got both of these guys getting 8 apiece or like 9 apiece, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the stats will never, ever add up to make him overall the best, but everybody knows he's the best.
I would say, I would probably say I would put Jettas at 1 and I might get heat for this one, but he's been having some bad quarterback play. But Devontae Adams is number 2. Devontae Adams is second best. Is the second best. I would say at number 3 for me it's really kind of tied for me between AJ and I really I'm drawing a fuck and Mike Evans. I'm really Mike. Listen, Mike has 11, I think it's 10 or 11 seasons consecutively of 1,000 yards, and look, AJ is good, and I got a lot of respect for AJ. Look, there was a big knock on him that he couldn't be like this big time producing wide receiver when he was in Tennessee. Really didn't get a lot of the looks. Came to Philadelphia, he shined over 1,400 yards the last 2 years that he's been with y'all. But I got to give my man
only
Mike
ever with 6 straight 125-yard games.
I got to give it to my man Mike. Mike, I will take Mike Evans right now over AJ Brown.
You're smoking that good stuff.
I'll take it. And then AJ at number 4.
Is it legalized over there? Because you're smoking that good over there.
And then I think Jamar is number 5, and I'll put Jamar at number 5.
I'll say AJ, JJ, 1A, 1B, if you want to say like the top, because one's a physical. There's 2 different style receivers. So one's more physical. Like you see AJ with his catches, like the catch in the game, the catch for touchdown. Those balls weren't perfectly thrown. He's just so big and strong. He controls, where his body placement is. So like he had to slow down. When he slows down, the cornerback slows down. And the quarterback can't just run through him to get the interception like a skinny guy or like a JJ or something like that. They want to run through and get it. He just kind of controls it. Boom. He had his arms on him. He's like, hey, I'm too strong for you. Bam, give me the ball type thing. And but after that, you got to go Cheetah. Cheetah's definitely number 3 receiver in the league. Like, that guy's a beast, man. No matter what, really. Like, you can just throw him a 5-yard hitch and he'll take it 100, 100 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot. Cheetah's good, man. Cheetah's good. Shit, I might take Cheetah over AJ. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, there you go again with the bullshit.
I'm just kidding.
It's all good. Everybody got their, that's what I love about, this game. Like, since there's so many different styles, like I still say right now, I say Saquon's the best running back in the league. But then you can be like, oh, Derrick Henry's back being the best because he has all the touchdowns, more touchdowns than any running back, and pretty much anybody in the league right now. I think they said they showed someone on Twitter he has more touchdowns than 23 of the NFL teams out there right now. With the Ravens right now. So
Derrick Henry got more touchdowns than fucking Daniel Jones.
Yeah. So it's like obviously you can say that kind of stuff where it's like, okay, that don't sound bad, but I still say, even though Saquon had a bad week, like he's still like pretty much the best. To me, he's the best running back in the league right now. I think he overtakes, CMC. I know CMC been out, this whole time because he got hurt. But this year is Saquon's year to be the best back in the league. And I think by the time it's week 17 or week 18 hits, he will be that guy. So
Listen, I had him, before the season started, a bunch of us were talking and like, all right, who's your, top 3 for like MVP? And I said I thought Jordan Love was going to win the MVP this year. And he still very well may win the MVP this year. I said Barkley would be a finalist. I put him in the top 3 for finalists for MVP, and I of course I put Mahomes in there because you always got to put Mahomes in there. So look, I'm a big Barkley fan. It sucked seeing him go to Philadelphia. I wasn't one of these fans that was trashing him and snake or this or that. Look,
you didn't burn his jersey?
Nah, fuck that. I still got him. I still got his jersey hanging right there.
Look at him.
At the end of the day, man, it's like I'm a father. A father is 6, so it's like, I don't want to be going across country when you got little kids, and if you could just drive 2.5 hours up I-95 and go to where you got to be, and you can go home every night. I mean, why not? So I would do it, and shit like that, to make sure that I'm home every night to tuck my kids in that night, spend time with them and shit like that. Like I don't want to be. Yeah, he could have went to Houston, probably maybe a little bit of a better situation, maybe, play with a little bit of a better quarterback, whatever the case may be. Who knows? But you're not home, right? So, but I think when it comes to Philly, though, y'all need to get rid of Nick Sirianni. I mean, quick. Like, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I would have given him the boot. I wouldn't let him leave fucking Cleveland last week. Like I would have. I would have.
I was gonna give him last season.
I was gonna leave him there because here's the thing. Like for me, they don't respect that dude. And I hear Jason Kelsey. I got respect for him, whatever. And all due respect, Jason Kelsey. I respect you, but they don't respect this dude. That's no. And when I see a guy like Jalen Carter not caring that your head coach is telling you to calm down in New Orleans when you're yapping at fans, and he's like basically telling you to fuck off. Yeah, they don't respect you, bro. They don't. And so I think there's a couple of character issues too. Like Carter's got to get his shit in fucking line. And he like, I'm hearing things like him like kind of giving up and shit like that. He's got a poor attitude. Like you need to get a head coach in there that's going to get these fucking players right. And that these players are going to respect. And Bill Belichick's name comes to mind. I think Mike Vrabel.
I think that's a good choice.
I think Mike Vrabel would.
I think he was.
Vrabel would be good too. Vrabel would be good too.
And he'd get a good little offensive coordinator there, even to keep Kellen Moore.
This is the thing with that, right? Hey, Nick Sirianni been the same guy from day one. All right, the only difference now is because of what happened last year with the whole losing streak, and then coming into this year, but he's been the same guy. Like we all love him when we was winning, and now because we up and down, and now fans are turning on him. Look, it is what it is. You need ability in a organization. All right, so he's been there. He's one of the winningest coach in the NFL right now. So I don't understand because he fits the Philly, like he fits the Philly mood for me. Like, I mean, he is Philly, right? Hey, he chirp at the fans. He chirp at the, opposing fans. He chirp at the refs. I mean, he's okay. Yes. Yeah, we're going through a little up and down phase with him, but he's fine. The players love to play for him. Every player come out and defend him. Not one time you hear, something bad about him. So I feel like that we all need to calm down and just have fun again, man. Like he's still the same guy.
Two things with that is one is I feel like he's doing a little bit of what Dougie P did, even though Dougie P won the Super Bowl, so he kind of had a right to do it, but he got a little too cocky after he went to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like he thought that's when he brought in the whole first-time coordinators on offense and defense. You see how that turned out. And now you got to come bring in these veteran guys to try to change out theory around and all this extra stuff. Like the whole reason why we got him in the first place was because he's supposed to be a great offense coordinator, period. Since he came to our team, he sucks at being an offensive coordinator, period. He's trash at it. So, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that Nick, and I never had a team. I've never seen a team have to defend a coach so much. Yeah. Like every week we got different players coming out defending our head coach about a call or what he did on the sideline or something. Like that's taken away from our joy that you want to see us playing with. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't have to come defend your coach week in and week out about whether it's just antics on the sideline or, you know, what kind of play call he's going to call. So I don't know, like, y'all, you already knew I want him.
Yeah, no, look, I think, and JC, you kind of hit on it. Like, when you're winning, people let things slide.
Yeah.
When you're not, then people become more critical of what you're doing. And the thing is, what he needs to do, or what he should have been doing, is not acting the same way as if you were winning when you're losing. And that puts off a bad persona. Like, chirping at fans when you get a 4-point victory over a bottom tier franchise, when your team struggled in that game, meaning like if I'm talking to Nick Sirianni, that's clown stuff. When you're in the Super Bowl and your quarterback gotta put your hand down because you're flicking off Patrick Mahomes, that's childish on national TV. Nonetheless, like, this isn't high school. You're not with your boys playing. You're in the National Football League. You're on the biggest stage. Rep your organization and rep your city right. I know Philly's made for their trash talking. There's nothing wrong with the trash talk. But, like, flicking off the opposing quarterback when they're singing the national anthem or some shit, like, that's just fucking wild to me. Like, that's wild. So, to me, from what I see, and I respect the Eagles, I don't like y'all, obviously, but I respect where they're at. Y'all need a coach that's going to demand and immediately have respect the second he steps into that building, and is not going to allow guys like Carter or some of these guys to step out of line. And when they do, he has got the guts and he's got the balls and the respect that people aren't going to step out of line, or other players are going to put that motherfucker back in check, saying you don't treat the coach that way. And so a guy like Bill Belichick or a guy like Mike Vrabel, those guys have instant respect when they walk in. You had a center, Ben Johnson, that was crying for Mike Vrabel. That's how much they're bought in. Nobody had to go and defend Bill Belichick. Nobody had to go and defend at podiums on interviews, defend Mike Vrabel. When your team, like what you just said, or what BIRDGANG, what you just said, when your players have to get up there and start defending you, that's bad, because your players should not be defending your coach. Your players should be talking about their play on the field, the game, and that's it. They shouldn't have to be answering questions about, do you feel your coach is immature? Do you feel he takes it over the top? Do you feel he's this and that? And that's Nick Sirianni doing that to his players. And so I think regardless whether y'all make it to the playoffs or not, I think he's done. I think he's out. And what really hurt y'all, I think, was having the success that you guys had in 22 opened up the eyes for the coordinators that you guys weren't prepared to lose. And they both got head coaching jobs, and then it was like frantic. It was panic. And so you brought in the guys that you did that were in the building that were there, but that didn't work. So now he's on the hot seat going in this year. Oh my God, give me Vic Fangio, because he helped us out. And, he did this. Oh my God, let's bring in Kellen Moore or whatever. And it's not working, as opposed to just saying, hey, what do we do best? Let's bring people in here that are going to be able to utilize our personnel, do it well. Even if it's not great to start off, it's going to get there. And he just made some panic hires. Like, I think bringing in a guy like Brian Flores, like last year, would have been a lot better for y'all than who you guys had. And then you went to Vic Fangio. Because, I mean, look at what Brian Flores is doing right now in Minnesota. Like, that defense is crazy. And they got a lot of young cats. So, but I mean, I respect y'all. I mean, you guys got a good roster, got some good players, and I think it's gonna be a fun 3-way battle between the Commanders and the Eagles and the Cowboys. And look, the Commanders are hot right now. They're playing hot. They played the Ravens good. Everybody's on this fucking JD5. Oh my god, JD5.
Yeah.
Like I was never a big JD5 fan. He's playing good. I'll give him props, but I'm not jumping glazing over this guy. I want to see what he does in year 2 when people got tape on him. Are you still going to be, are you still going to be able to go ahead and deliver? And if he does, I'll eat my crow. But that's going to be an interesting battle to see what happens, like, and how the division, pans out. Dallas looks like a shit show.
Yeah.
You guys are up and down a little bit.
Twice,
so,
like bad. Like,
dude, like,
we're not getting blown out by nobody like that. Like, they've been destroyed twice. Like, you thought the first time was a fluke, and then they did it again. I don't think it's over for those guys, man. They don't have no running game over there. They brought back Z thing,
and they're in the same situation with you guys when it comes to the head coach. Like, Mike McCarthy just don't demand no respect in that building. He doesn't like it. Doesn't. I'm sure they like him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. They just don't. They don't demand respect. Now they paid Dak. They paid CD. You're right, and now you got Parsons on deck. Parsons and Law is out. Like, dude, it's and it sucks as a Giants fan because I see what Washington did by just drafting a quarterback and how that could have changed.
Yeah.
And it could, and it hurts me to think, bro, if we would have taken a Penix or we would have taken a JJ,
you guys could have got Penix.
What would it have looked like with us? Because I didn't think the wide receiver room was terrible, but at the same point, like I said before, you could have taken the quarterback at 6. You just had Amari Cooper get fucking traded for a 3rd and a 5. You had Brandon Ayuk that when the season started was looking to get fucking traded, right? Devontae Adams just got traded. You guys traded for DeMar Dotson, right? Like you could have drafted a wide receiver in the late first round, in the second round. You maybe could have traded for a guy like Amari Cooper, a good veteran wide receiver. If you had a rookie quarterback to give him a good veteran target to throw to. Shit, we might have been in the mix for this fucking division because this division is like this right now.
Wide open.
It's literally wide open.
You guys can't still do it. Neighbors come back healthy.
Absolutely.
Daniel Jones can eat his Wheaties for the week.
No chance.
Who knows? DJ
the opportunity would have been this past Sunday. If they would have went out there and took care of business, right? There would have been a 3-way tie or whatever for second place between the Cowboys, the Giants and the Eagles. And then this game coming up would have been huge because big time implications, because if we would have won this game, now you're talking about going to 4-3, you guys dropping to 4-3 or whatever the case may be or whatever. And if Washington loses, now you're in the mix, but you lose and it makes this game even harder and you're 0-2 in the division. Like we're 0-2 in this division. I'll be honest, we're about to be 0-3 in this fucking division. So only way is benching Daniel Jones and putting in Drew Lock. That's to me personally.
And Drew Lock might be able to play. Who knows? Because he's still a young cat.
He beat us last year, man. Drew Lock, man.
Yeah, he beat us last year. So.
He cooked you. He
could actually go out there and win too. But hey, let's wrap this one up, guys. Good show, guys. But like, what are some keys to the game here? Let's get some keys to the game from each of us, and then let's do a score prediction. Let's have our final thoughts to get up out of here.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right. So key predictions in this game. I think the Giants get 4 or 5 sacks in this game on Jalen Hurts. One defensive. I'm not gonna say defensive touchdown, but I'm gonna say a couple turnovers. And I think it's gonna. I think Neighbors plays, and he kind of gets back into his little groove. Man, and then I'll wait for to do the score prediction unless you want me to do the score prediction now. But you do
go ahead.
But I'm gonna say the final score of this game. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 21-10 Eagles. 21-10 Eagles.
All right, so look, a couple keys to victory, man. One, we got to run the ball. All right, this is a Saquon Barkley get back game for me. So give him the ball. You know, if the Giants can't stop the run, just keep running the ball. But also another key to victory is quick throws on your wide receivers and make the Giants DBs, you know, corners tackle them. You know what I mean? Like just give them time to react in space. Run the ball. Jalen Hurts to me. All right. So last week, turnover-free game. I feel like with AJ Brown being back, Devontae Smith being back, that he's going to have 0 turnovers again. Like he's going to go back to the Jalen Hurts. He's not going to go throw for 300-400 yards. He might have like 220 passing, another 50-60 on the ground. Saquon, I definitely see him going over 100 yards and a couple touchdowns just because his get back game, man, you got to feed him. As far as defense goes, I want to see Neighbors and Mitchell. You know what I mean? Quinn Mitchell, man, like he's one of the studs. Our DB, do not put him on Slay at all because Slay going to have about 3, 4, 5 pass interference if he's trying to cover Neighbors. So I want to see Mitchell on Neighbors, man. That's a matchup for me to watch because I believe that's a true test for Q to, you know what I mean, having the big stage on Neighbors and Q, right? 2 rookies. But definitely defense for me, man. The defensive line, we had to get to Daniel Jones, man. We had to make him play happy feet back there. Make him, turn the ball over, get to him, sack him. Because, like I said, before the Browns game, the Philadelphia Eagles had 6 sacks. Y'all lead the league in sacks. We was like the 29th in sacks. After the Browns game, we got 5 more. So now we had 11 sacks in 6-7 games, man. That's pathetic. So we got to get the pressure up front. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, clog the middle. Put pressure on Daniel Jones. You start hitting them, he's going to start throwing the ball like Eli Manning, airing the ball out, closing his eyes. But you got to watch out for his legs. You got to contain Daniel Jones in the pocket. The Philadelphia Eagles do not have a good, track record when it comes to running quarterbacks because I think we're undisciplined, whatever it is. But Daniel Jones, he'd be running all over us. Like if you go back and look at the Eagles game, this dude is almost averaging 100 yards on us. Running the ball. So we definitely got to keep Daniel Jones in the pocket and get to him. And the final score prediction, man, look, we ain't blowing nobody out. Right? Until I see the Philadelphia Eagles score in the first quarter and get better as the game go on. I see this game being like a 24-16. So I'm going to go to y'all average. 16 points. Y'all averaging 60 points a game. Hey, 24-16 Eagles.
Nice. Okay, my keys to the game is to get the guys on the touchdown, roll because when these guys get touchdowns together, the bad boys get the touchdown together. The Eagles are 8-0, baby, 8-0, unstoppable. So we need to get Devontae and AJ the ball for show early and often to set up the run for Saquon because I do want to see Saquon take off. I am a firm believer that Saquon, no matter what, whether the line is blocking or not, this man will be on a mission to destroy you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been waiting for this game all season long. Like, this boy been, please, like, get back to midlight. I swear to God, we trying to get back to midlight. Y'all don't want to pay me? Y'all want to disrespect me like that? And I think he's going to do a damn thing. I really do feel like Saquon going to go over 200 yards on y'all. I'm just saying it. Like, I feel like it. He's going to do it because you guys won't be able to play the 8-man box because if the Eagles are smart, they're going to let the first couple of drives get, AJ and Smitty the ball to keep the, defense honest and not be able to get that 8-man front. And then if you don't have an 8-man front against this Eagles offensive line, there's going to be plenty of hosts for Saquon to go deep. So, that's what I think with that on the defense side of the ball. Like you said, I want to see Q point out lock up, Neighbors if he does play. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a high caliber receiver versus high caliber. 2 rookies going at it, battling one-on-one. And see who gets it. Right now, Q don't have no touchdowns on him. He's going to play some really good receivers already, but no touchdowns. Will Neighbor be the guy to break that? So I don't think he will do it, but we're going to see what happens there. And I think this defensive line gets back to what they've been doing. Last game 5 sacks. I can see another 5 sacks against Daniel Jones. This week. No, I'm not gonna say no big 7 or 8 and 9 sacks, but I'm saying like another 5 sacks this week again to get into the floor of things. I think this is the uptick for the Eagles. The Eagles will start getting better and better and better as the season goes along to become that elite team. In terms of score prediction, man, I think it's going to be 31-14. Eagles blow you guys out, but it's not the blow like, oh, they score 50 points or something like that. It's going to be a nice 31 points. For you guys score 2 touchdowns, 14 points. Eagles win, and we will call it a game.
I don't know, bro. We ain't blowing nobody out. But anyways, man, hey, we definitely, hey, you say, hey, we're going to get back to what we've been doing and getting sacked. Bro, I just told you before the Browns game that we had 6 sacks.
And we got 5 last games. So we get back to last week. God damn it. We get back to last week.
Look, if you are struggling in sacks, just play the Browns. They will make sure that you get your stats up. And then we're going to go back to the 1 or 2 sacks that we've been having. But look, the Mariota injury, man, I don't know how bad it is, but that's going to be a key that the Giants could exploit, right? You know what I mean? Their pass rusher going against, a Johnson over there. So I don't know how that's going to look like. But
have y'all played the Lions yet?
That's what I'm doing.
Have y'all played the Lions yet?
Nah, I don't think we played the Lions this year. We played the Packers.
Yeah. You played the Packers. Oh, you guys don't play the. Oh, that's right. No, yeah.
Yeah, we played the Packers, the Saints, the Tampa Bay.
We played the NFC South. Yeah, we played the NFC South, and then one of the teams from the NFC North, which was the Packers for us. The Cowboys got the Lions. Y'all have, I guess who finished third in that division last year or fourth in that division last year. So whoever finished third in that division last year, that's who y'all play. And then the Commanders play,
So I don't know how real this is. A little breaking news. But, not really breaking news. Max Crosby, about 49 minutes ago, photoshopped himself in a Detroit Lions uniform.
Ooh.
That would be scary.
And this same, and I don't believe this, but this same account who has 25,000 followers, claims to be an insider for the NFL, is claiming that the Giants are trying to work on a trade for Matthew Stafford.
I can see that, though.
Yeah, but why would the Rams do that, though? Because Puka is coming back. Cup is coming back. So why would you trade for Daniel Jones? Man, that whole team is going to say, hey, trade me.
Hey,
I have no idea.
Hey, I see something that said Myles Garrett 2 years ago said he would love to play in Philly. You think that's going to happen? Come on. It's a trade deadline. That's possible, too. I would love to get a Myles Garrett right now.
I can see Mad Max going to the Detroit Lions. That I can see.
That with Hutchinson out.
That I can see. I don't see
the Raiders are selling.
Yeah, they're selling. Bro, you got their owner massaging Shedeur Sanders' shoulders before games, bro. That like they want Shedeur. Like they are 100% trying to make sure that they fucking get the number 1 overall pick so they can get Shedeur Sanders. 100%.
But hey, man, thanks again for coming out, man, chopping it up with us, giving us a preview of what we are supposed to be able to see this week. Giants versus Eagles, man. We got the Giants content creator, R0 being in building, man. Much love to you. Shout out to you. Keep doing your thing over there, to let everybody know what you're going to be doing. And then we're going to do a special exit tonight, to represent our boy PTA, man. Salute to you up in heaven, my guy. But go ahead and shout him out.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on, and having me and Pest on. I decided to continue, doing our podcast going into the season. So every Tuesday night, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. That's when when I do the podcast. Having everybody on that was a part of our show that played an integral part. And so I appreciate y'all every Tuesday. Like I said, every Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. And we'll get back on it. Didn't do it last week or this week. Was sick last week, and then obviously I wanted to be here. So I appreciate y'all for letting me on, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week.
But do you have it? Do you guys never down? You guys ever download that one on here? Let's see. Here it is. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, thanks for coming in. Salute. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we out. Peace.
We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. Bitch, we in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. Bitch, we in the building.